the roads. We'll check in on the travel in about 10 minutes' time. Let's talk about Subbuteo, because fans and football supporters across the country gathered over the weekend to experience the highs and lows of watching their team. This was the Subbuteo World Cup, which took place over the weekend in its birthplace, Tunbridge Wells. Players across the globe competing in this, and Stewart Grant from Southend hosting it. Stewart's with us now. Morning, Stewart.
Hey, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, really good. How was it?
It was absolutely fantastic. We've had an absolute blast this weekend. We've had 300 people from around the world, as far as Australia and Brazil, come over to Tunbridge Wells, where Subbuteo comes from. It's been absolutely brilliant. The levels of camaraderie, sportsmanship, passion. You wouldn't believe it for such a little game like Subbuteo. It's been amazing.
Oh, brilliant. How did you first get into it then, Stewart?
So for me, I got into it. All I wanted to do was build a stadium. So as a kid, at a Subbuteo set, you grow up, you become a teenager, and then you get rid of it. Then you have your teenage years. But then I thought, well, I've got a massive loft. I'm going to build a Subbuteo stadium in my loft. That's all I wanted to do. And then from there, you end up buying a few teams. You realise there's a community. The next thing you know, you're playing. And the next thing, you come into a world tournament to host it because you've started a YouTube channel on it. It's bonkers.
It's one of those things which I think, as you said, you can really build on it, can't you? It's quite addictive and definitely something you can enjoy well into your adult years, isn't it, really?
Oh, massively. There's so many ways to enjoy it. I mean, yeah, you can play, you can come to world tournaments. You don't have to be the best to play. You can come to a club. We've got a club in Rochford and Southend that people can come to every 2 weeks we play. It's relaxed, it's easy. All skill levels are welcome. You haven't got to be great or a well-beat or anything like that. But at the same time, if you want to get into the game just in collecting, people collect retro football shirts. You can do that with Subbuteo. There are so many kits. If you wanted to dedicate just buying Arsenal kits or West Ham kits, you could do that in Subbuteo form, or you could just go full hog and buy every kit made from the 90s back to the 40s if you've got the money, because some of them can be quite expensive. It's quite a collectible hobby.
Yeah, I'll bet. I mean, spoiler alert coming up here, but who won the Subbuteo World Cup then?
Oh, sadly, it wasn't us.
It didn't come home.
No, it didn't. Well, we got very close. Italy won it overall in the end. They won the open category and they won the veterans category. But our veterans did get to the final. A massive moment when they got to the final, because they got to the final through extra time golden goal. So there is a video floating around on the English Subbuteo socials of the moment that happened. And yeah, it's fantastic. It really is. And even in the other categories, typical England, controversy, we scored, but we don't know if it was a goal or not. We don't know if it crossed the line. The referee didn't give it. We all said it did cross the line. And of course, the Italians who we was playing said it didn't cross the line. So yeah, typical England controversy.
Oh, what about the VAR? Has that made it into Subbuteo?
Well, we had a live stream. We had a live stream going on, so we had the ability to look at it. But because it was a live stream, we couldn't rewind it. We'll all be waiting for the live stream to be on rewind today, and we'll be going back and we'll be looking at it.
Well, I was going to say, do you want to look at it? Because it might make you quite cross.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, it's probably best that we do stay away from it. You're probably right.
And you've got a YouTube channel you mentioned. I think we've chatted before about this, and this is dedicated to Subbuteo as well, is it?
That's it, yeah. So it's called Subbuteo Collector. If you head on YouTube, type in Subbuteo Collector, you'll see all my videos on there. There's videos on collecting stuff, buying stuff. But as you'll sort of see my journey really over the last 5 years, from being a basic collector to coming up, and there's tours of Subbuteo museums and things about coming to the World Cup. If there's something Subbuteo going on, whether it's an unboxing, whether it's a new product release, whether it's a big major tournament, there'll be content on there. And I try and get as much content out on it as possible.
I love that. And I haven't flicked through all of the papers yet, but page 3 of the Times caught my eye. There's a big article about the World Cup, this very event that you're chatting about and that you were involved in over the weekend. It's a big piece about it in the Times this morning. So it's also getting a fair bit of coverage in the news as well, which is nice to see.
Oh, it's great. We had The Sun do an article on us last week. The gentleman that wrote that article for the Times, I was with him yesterday, and he kept coming up to going, "Can you explain what's going on to me now? Where does this leave England?" I'm like, blah, 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 explain what's going on. He's like, "Oh my God, I've got to get to print soon, but I can't, I've got to hold back because we might get further." So there has been so much press coverage, which is great, because if we can get more people out playing Subbuteo, get them off the screens, into clubs, meeting real people, so much better for everybody.
Yeah, I love that. All the best, and I'm sure we'll chat again, Stewart. Thank you for coming on. Stewart Grant talking to us on BBC Essex. Let's get the headlines and the sport now. 7:30 is